Hi, second graders. Today we are working on Skills, Unit 3, Lesson number 16. Our learning targets for today: by the end of the lesson, we will be practicing our new spelling words. We will be able to identify words with the and the U sounds. And we will be reading the story called The Soccer Twins Part 2, the next section of our story that we started in the last lesson that we read in our reader. So we have a new list of spelling words to start with on this lesson, and these are words that you're going to be practicing at home. This week's spelling words are antonyms and synonyms. I want you to say antonym, synonym. Antonyms are words that are opposites. For example, the antonym of hot is cold because it's the opposite. A synonym is a word that has almost the same meaning. And notice right here it says synonym and same both start with the letter S. This can help you remember that synonyms mean words that are almost the same. For example, dinner and supper both mean the same thing, so they are synonyms. When I give you the test, I'm going to give you the antonym or synonym, not the word that you have to write. You're going to be expected to first think of the spelling word, and not only will you have to know how to spell your word this week, but you're also going to have to know your antonyms and synonyms. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. We have 4 columns here. The words that are typed in black are our spelling words. There's no tricky word this week. The words that are in purple are the words that I'm going to tell you during the test. For example, I will say, write the antonym of over. And on your spelling test, you're going to write the word under. Or I might say, write the synonym for rival. And it's your job to write the word foe on your spelling test. So you need to know how to spell all of the words in black, but you also have to know which ones are synonyms and which ones are antonyms. Let's start with our antonym column. Antonym means opposite. The opposite of over, our spelling word is under. The antonym of silence, our spelling word is noise. The antonym of close, our spelling word is open. The antonym of scared, our spelling word is brave. And the antonym of ugly, our spelling word is cute. Moving over to our synonyms, a word that means the same or almost the same. Our synonym is subtract, so our spelling word is minus. Notice those both mean about the same thing. Our synonym is final, and our spelling word is last. Our synonym is rival, and our spelling word is foe. I will say the synonym bandit, and it's your job to write the spelling word robber. Those both mean almost the same thing. And then our synonym is street, and you will write the spelling word, which is road. So this week you have to practice spelling your words, and you have to practice the antonyms and synonyms. This is all inside your workbook on 16.1. Okay? On 16.1, you have a note home for your families, and then also your spelling words underneath. Okay, moving on. What sound would you say if you saw this spelling? We would say as in but. Let's think of words that have this sound. Under, uncle, up, us, unzip, umbrella. They all have the sound. But let's think about words that use the U sound. This is one spelling that we've learned already for the U sound, and we're going to learn some new spellings for this sound also. The one we've already practiced is U consonant E, also known as a magic E. The new vowel sound for today is the U sound, as in the word music. Everybody say the sound U. Some words that make that sound are uniform, ukulele, United States, unicorn, unicycle, and tissue. If we take a peek at all of the words that make the U sound on this page, we can sort them by their spelling. All of the words in this column use a magic E with our U. So we use U, consonant, E. Cute, cube, refuse, confuse, compute. Over here, we have words that make the U sound, but use the UE spelling. We have Q, value, rescue, continue. What do you notice about where the UE spelling is in all of these words? I noticed something about it. In this column, we have words that make the U sound that use the letter U to spell it. For example, music, human, humid, humor, unit. And then we have a couple of odd ducks. Remember, odd ducks make the same sound, but they don't follow a spelling pattern. Nephew and few use EW to make the U sound. Okay? So we are going to move on to the Soccer Twins Part 2. This is the second piece of the story about Pat, Les, and their soccer game. Remember that we have a narrator telling our story today, and remember that the pictures often have captions under them, and a caption is important and shouldn't be ignored. Okay, the caption helps to tell you what's going on in the picture so that you can understand the story better. Who's the narrator in this story and all of the stories in Kids Excel? If you said Mark Deeds, you're correct. So we talked, what do we already know about soccer? What did we wonder about soccer? And what have we learned about soccer so far? Okay, this is a tricky word that's going to come up in our story today. And this word says England. I want everybody to say England. England is the name of a country. Names of countries are always, 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 always proper nouns, so they will always, 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 always begin with a capital letter. Some of the spellings that we're going to find in our story today use the ed suffix. Remember, a suffix goes at the end of the word. We have tugged, looked, played. And then a multi-syllable word that you will find in today's lesson is goalkeeper. We are not reading this as partners because you are at home listening to this, but we will read our story together for the Soccer Twins Part 2. I'm going to go to my table of contents and find the title of the chapter, the Soccer Twins Part 2. I see that it begins on page 48, and I'm going to begin reading it. Les and Pat ran off to play in their big game. Their dog, Princess, tugged on the leash, hoping she could play as well. Ted held her back. He petted Princess and got her to sit on the sidelines. We looked on, as Les and Pat played soccer. We say soccer here in the United States, but outside of the United States, they call it football. The name football makes a lot of sense, since the players use their feet to kick the ball. The goalkeeper can use her hands to stop the ball, but the rest of the players can't use their hands. But maybe an even better name would be feet ball. After all, you use both feet. Soccer, football, or feet ball. Which name do you think is best? At one point, Les made a nice pass. Her teammate had a shot on goal. She kicked the ball hard, but it bounced off the goal post. Pat played well too. She had to block 2 shots by the Dickens players. She knocked one out of bounds and grabbed one with her mitts. If you take a peek at the map here in this picture, it shows where in the world do they call it football and where in the world do they call it soccer. It is part of North America that calls it soccer, as well as Australia and South Africa that refer to it as soccer. The rest of the world calls this sport football. It's not the same as the football that you and I know. Both teams had shots on goal, but for a long time there was no scoring. The clock ticked down. It started to look like the game would end in a 0-0 tie. Then Les got the ball. She passed to a teammate. The teammate ran a bit, then passed the ball back to Les. Les took a shot. The ball went zipping past the Dickens goalkeeper and into the net. Goal! The Clark Bees ran and jumped on top of Les. Clark was in the lead, but there was still time left. The Dickens players got the ball back. They ran and passed the ball. A Dickens player took a shot, but Pat grabbed it. Just then, the horn went off. The game was over. The Clark Bees were the winners. They were the state soccer champs. The end. All right, so that is the end. It was a very short section on soccer in Kids Excel. It was just the two stories, Soccer Twins Part 1 and Soccer Twins Part 2, before we get ready to move into the next section for the next lesson. On your Google Forms today, you are going to be practicing the U and sound. So you're going to have to decipher, does a word say U or does a word say Then you're going to reread the Soccer Twins Part 2 and answer the Google Form questions on there as well. Okay? 16.1, remember, has your spelling practice on it, your spelling words and your spelling practice. And 16.3 is going to help you practice synonyms and antonyms. You need to have a good understanding of synonyms and antonyms for your spelling test when we finish. Okay, our learning targets that we accomplished today, we practiced our new spelling words. We talked about the difference between synonyms and antonyms. We identified words with the sound and the U sound. And we just did a quick read of the Soccer Twins Part 2. Go ahead and get onto your Google form, complete your questions, and ask for help if you need any, and we'll see you soon. Nice job today.